You won't believe what just happened to Bahati.
Bahati, you are stupid, very stupid.
Kenya beloved star has just broken down in tears after a shocking video of Apostle Michael Mbanda surfaced online, and it's bad.
You are a very poor man. Don't speak where people are speaking, where people have money are speaking. What money do you have? Ati niko juu, Mungu hajakuweka juu, shetani amekuweka juu.
In the viral clip, Apostle Michael doesn't just criticize Bahati, he destroys him.
Hiyo pesa yako ni mingi kuliko ya shetani. Unasema unaonewa wivu. Mtu anaenda jehanamu anaonewa wivu sangapi?
Calling him out publicly and warning him.
Unasema uko juu wapi? Juu hell ama wapi? Uko juu wapi?
Don't ever think I'm Pastor T. I can deal with you 100% perpendicularly.
Bahati, wewe, nimekuonya na hii ni mara ngapi nimekuonya? Hii ni mara ngapi nimekuonya wewe Bahati? You still have a mouth with all the things you are doing. You still have a mouth to talk. Continue talking. Continue talking.
But that is not all. What he said next has fans absolutely losing their minds.
Mungu alikiweka juu kujua. Sasa hii ujekwa juu na Mungu. Weko na shetani juu. Na shetani weka watu juu. And you know it.
Was this a spiritual attack, a public humiliation, or something much darker?
Kata hiyo kidogo vizuri, utaki wewe Bahati. Nonsense man. Ati lazima nihubiri, ati lazima Mr. T aite jina yake ndio injili ingie. Hiyo yako ni ya kuingiza injili wapi?
Stay right here because the truth behind this video is going to leave you in shock, emotional and speechless.
Alishapandishwa mlima na washetani, akakubali. Hiyo ndio sababu unavanga panty na bra ya Diana. Unapiga naye video. Alafu unaona kama hiyo ni injili. Ati young man, jichunge sana. Mahali umefika sasa ni kurudi, unarudi chini. Utaanguka kama gunia ya waru. Nonsense.
A man of God just declared war on Bahati, threatening to destroy everything he has built. And Bahati's response, wait until you see these.
Sasa nimeonya hiki kimutu hii. Chenzi sana. Nikukute tena umeita jina ya T kama jina ya pastor mwingine. Unajua Mungu anafanyanga hizi vitu zake na tumenyamaza akafikia ni vitu sawa anafanya, si ndio? So anaona kuna mdomo pia kusimama na kuongea.
This is the most dramatic celebrity controversy that Kenya has witnessed in 2025, and you need to see every single second of what went down. So here is what you need to know.
Ati niko juu, Mungu hajakuweka juu, shetani amekuweka juu. Nani aliyakuambia kwamba Mungu peke yake ndiye anaweka watu juu? Shetani pia anawekanga watu juu.
On October 1st of 2025, Bahati dropped his comeback titled Seti. But here is where things took a shocking turn. This wasn't the Bahati that fans remembered. The music video was loaded with explicit content and imagery that has left the Christian fan base absolutely worried. The backlash was immediate and brutal, and within hours of release, the video was flooded with dislikes on YouTube. Social media erupted with disappointment, and one fan wrote, and I quote, "Mwenye anafeel aibu akiwatch, mkono juu. Imebidi ni switch next juu ya watoi," which translates to, anyone who feels embarrassed while watching this, raise your hand. Now, it was only then that Pastor T Mwangi, a respected gospel artist and a preacher, who wasn't about to stay silent while Bahati led young people astray. During a church service, Pastor T Mwangi addressed the controversy without initially mentioning Bahati by name, but everyone knew exactly who he was talking about, and what he said sent chills down everyone's spine. Pastor T declared from the pulpit, and these are his exact words, "I look at some of our musicians and my heart cries for them, fame hungry, that a man can produce a song that looks dirty so that men can talk. That is the appetite of fame." But then Pastor T dropped the bombshell that would ignite this entire firestorm. He warned, and I quote, "What that young man does not know is that he could be opening a door to iniquity for his own children. He may not pay the price, but his children may be the ones to suffer." The congregation went silent, and Pastor T wasn't just criticizing Bahati's music, he was prophesying consequences for Bahati's children. He was speaking about generational curses and about doors being opened to spiritual darkness. Pastor T continued his voice, filled with conviction, When I saw that video, I began to pray for him. He emphasized that Bahati needed to understand the spiritual repercussions of his action. The video of this sermon spread like wildfire across social media within hours. It had been shared thousands of times. People were tagging Bahati, demanding his response, and the tension was building to an explosive climax. When Bahati saw the video of Pastor T's sermon, something inside him snapped. In an interview on Radio Maisha, Bahati didn't just respond. He had a complete and utter meltdown. His voice shaking with emotion, Bahati fired back at Pastor T with words that shocked everyone listening. He had this quote, "Wewe Pastor T, umekuwa ukivuta sigara, bado ukiimba gospel na ukihubiria watu." Translating to, "Pastor T, you've been smoking cigarettes while still singing the gospel and preaching to people." The accusation was devastating. Bahati was essentially calling Pastor T a hypocrite, claiming that while the pastor was condemning his music video, Pastor T himself was struggling with addiction to cigarettes. But Bahati wasn't finished. His anger escalating. He declared, "Usitaje watoto wangu kwa upuzi kwa sababu unataka neno iingie." You could hear the pain in Bahati's voice, the frustration and the feeling of being attacked by someone who claims to be a man of God. His children being dragged into his controversy had clearly crossed a line for him. Then came the moment that will go viral across Kenya. Bahati made a declaration that left everyone speechless. He said, and I quote, "Mimi niko juu kwa sababu Mungu ameniweka juu. Ingekuwa ni Pastor T anaweka watu juu, singekuwa juu, lakini niko juu." And then in what can only be described as the spiritual counter-attack, Bahati redirected Pastor T's prophecies back at him. He declared, and I quote, "Yani, kwani Mr. T si amekuwa akistruggle na sigara for the longest, lakini sasa mahali anaharibia, ana create content alafu anataja watoto wangu bana. That's why nimemrudishia back to the sender, watoto wake ndio wataadhibika." In other words, Pastor T has been struggling and Bahati was returning the said prophecy back to him. And can you believe it? Bahati just took the curse that Pastor T had pronounced and sent it right back at him. The public reaction to this entire saga has been absolutely explosive. Social media has been divided into camps, those who support Bahati and believe that this is the right artistic expression, and those who stood with Pastor T and believe that Bahati was betrayed by his gospel roots. Some of the viral comments include supporters saying, "Leave Bahati alone, he is an adult." But on the other side, critics have been equally vocal. Bahati has opened doors to demons through that video. You can't leave gospel music and expect God's blessing to continue. One particularly insightful comment that gained traction stated, "Mwizi amejitambulisha mwenyewe na hakuna anayemtaja." This was in reference to how Bahati responded so defensively to Pastor T's sermon, even though Pastor T never specifically named him. So where does this leave us now? As of today, October 21st of 2025, this story continues to develop. Bahati attempted to damage control by announcing he had recorded a gospel collaboration with a Tanzanian artist. Pastor T has not publicly responded to Bahati's accusations about smoking cigarettes. Some of his supporters have dismissed Bahati's claims as desperate attacks, while others are calling for Pastor T to address this allegation directly. Diana Marua has maintained her distance from the controversy, focusing on her own brand and abusive ventures. The state of their marriage remains a subject of the intense speculation, with some wondering if the public disagreement signals deeper problems in their relationship. The Seti music video, despite all the controversy, or perhaps because of it, has garnered hundreds of thousands of views. Some argue that any publicity is good publicity and that Bahati had successfully generated massive attention for his comeback. But at what cost? His reputation among Christians had been severely damaged. His relationship with his wife had been publicly strained. A respected pastor had prophesied consequences for his children, and the entire nation is watching to see what happens next. So there you have it, the complete story of Bahati's explosive controversy with Mr. T Mwangi, a saga involving explicit music videos, prophetic warnings and accusations of hypocrisy, spiritual warfare, and a nation divided. The question now is, what do you think? Was Pastor T right to call him out? And the bigger question, can Bahati recover from this? Can he rebuild his reputation? Will his marriage survive? And will Pastor T's prophecy come to pass? Or was it all just empty words? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear from both sides of this debate. If you made it this far, you're a part of the real ones. Hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell because this story is far from over. And when more developments happen, you'll be among the first people to know. Share this video with anyone who needs to see the full story because mainstream media isn't giving you all the details like we just did.